Quiet on set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Let's Poddy podcast with your host, Benji Weatherly. It's the podcast where you learn absolutely nothing.
Welcome to Let's Poddy.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Let's Poddy with Benji Weatherly. Well, welcome Perry. This is Etty Farrell, a.k.a. everything on the picture that we just filmed is so great. Is that Times Square over here?
Yeah, that was actually Times Square.
It's such a cool moment.
What's great about this picture is when I was a little boy, I was born in New York. My dad worked in the city at West 47th Street, not far from here. This is 42nd Street.
Is it Times Square?
Times Square.
Okay.
So when I was a little boy, I would not only work in the city. We had a little house in Queens, very blue-collar working-class people. But my dad worked in the jewelry district, which in New York City, the jewelry district is just filled with rows and rows of people that are selling jewelry, gold chains. Yeah. Some people are designers and repairmen. My dad was a designer.
Really?
So my dad was a jewelry designer. Right. And from the age of, when I could walk and talk, I would sell or try to sell jewelry to the ladies that would come in. I would walk around. My dad would give me like gems. And he'd say, hey, Peck, he'd write down an address. He goes, take these stones down to this address, Mm-hmm. So I'd be walking around New York City and people would never know that this little kid had like diamonds in his pockets and rubies.
Rad.
And this is the CBGB's put together a big show.
Like outdoor show out on Times Square.
And we were the headliners of it. So there I was on the streets where I used to walk around in New York City, being carried down.
The people seem happy too. They don't have the time in their life.
They shut the streets down.
Wow, that's so cool.
So there I was, man, being carried like a king.
That is so cool.
We're on the streets where I grew up as a little kid.
Is CBG? It sounds so stupid to say this. It's gone, right? That's been shut down for a long time.
Yeah.
How long has it been shut down? Like 20 years or something longer?
Yeah, probably going around.
Did you guys ever get to play there back in the day?
Not back in the day. When it was at its height, I was either too young. I was living in Florida back in those days, learning to surf and getting into trouble, things like that. And then I went from Florida out to California I wanted to be a shaper.
No way, really?
Yeah, because I was an artist, So I drew cartoons. I had a cartoon called Surf Rat.
No way.
And I would draw Surf Rat cartoons for my friends, But I was also making flexible skateboards in my garage,
The flex were wood or the plastic? The plastic
I
ones?
I would get wood, and then I would fiberglass them at just the right length so that they would flex.
Were they little? The little ones, or were you getting the bigger ones?
Big
ones? No way, doing
longboard
ones?
When flex. I mean, this was before skate parks. This was just when skate parks just were happening.
Like late 80s, maybe?
No, this is before that. This is 70s.
Oh, wow. This is before Del Mar.
I'm 63.
So Del Mar, where they've opened, that was like one of the first skate parks, right? Del Mar back in the day. Do you remember that one? Remember Bones Brigade back in those days?
Well, that was West Coast.
You're talking East Coast. Sorry. You were shaping surfboards on the East Coast?
Yeah, but I was only shaping my boards.
That's cool. That's what I do.
I would take a board, like some board that I would want to fuck it up. So I'd get it. If it didn't cost that much money, then I'd take it and I would redo the tails.
You would wait. You get existing boards and then tear the fiberglass off?
Yeah.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, it was my way of like.
Did you even know where to buy foam boards back then, like blanks?
Yeah. No, there were surf shops. There were surf shops over there.
But you would tear apart old boards and then redo the rails and kind of do them your way?
Yeah, redo the tails and put in like an extra fin, trying shit out.
Yeah.
Do you remember this guy? This is so goofy, but
no, I love it.
You remember that guy Mike Purpose?
I think so, yeah.
He was a 70s guy, right? he would wear puka shells, and he could do like whirly
Spin.
whirlybird spins,
No way.
not like helicopter type moves, like where he would disengage the
fins and stuff.
fin and then spin around like
Right, like
but
buttons, like Larry
exactly.
Birdman back in the
It
day.
was that era.
Okay, cool.
So
Single fins, or are these treks?
this was single fins.
Just
People were
going into
surfing
fins.
single fins, but then I wanted to have 2 little fins, so I was practicing
Yeah, twin fins and stuff.
with twin fins
Sick.
and I thought, very naive. I thought like, I'm gonna go out to California and I'm gonna get in with a surf shop. That was really what I thought. That's all I had in mind was I want to surf the waves in California.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I'll work at a surf shop. But I didn't get to do that. But what I ended up to do was design jewelry
Wow.
for people. So I would go
How old were
along
you at
the
this
coast, 18.
Okay, so as a teenager, you're thinking about designing jewelry. Too bad you're not doing that now.
Well, I
It's
was
probably
doing
big business.
I know.
Wow.
Well, I designed since I was a little kid. I was designing with my dad. My dad has designed jewelry, and my brother have designed some real wild jewelry in their day. I'll give you an example. So this is 70s. My brother was known as the king of the cock rings. He worked with my dad too. So my dad wanted to bring us both into the business.
Mm-hmm.
So he taught me how to design jewelry. I was a good artist. But my brother was already working with him, and he was living in Greenwich Village in the 60s. And so he made friends with everybody. He actually roomed with Jimi Hendrix in Greenwich Village. So I was living in Cardiff by the sea, and that's at first when I first got to California, I was living in Oceanside.
This is
You know-
70s?
Yeah, this is the
lived in
70s.
Oceanside in the 70s?
Oceanside Pier.
Was it
was
really
right
run
up the
down back
street.
then? You know how it kind of was back in the day?
Only gnarly. It was gnarly. It was only like Marines.
Yeah, Marines.
They called them jarheads back then. It's like, oh man, you got to be careful them
It's
jarheads.
pretty bad down there back in the
'Cause
day, I
they're-
heard.
They're really gnarly, and they're all pumped up on
jacked.
like food that the military's feeding them, and they like to fight.
Yeah.
But I found a place on the beach for it was a bachelor pad, right? It was so run down and gross that so what I would do is there was roaches everywhere, right? And to tell the landlord, you got to do something about these roaches. I had a jar of roaches going, So I had this jar full of
Every
roaches.
one of them, I went $10
Every time
off rent.
he'd come around, to get the rent, I go, look at these roaches. So all my friends in Florida found out that I was living in Oceanside. So then they all just showed up without even being invited, and we were all living. I ran with my own surf posse, so there was about 5 of us.
By the pier?
It was right near the pier,
Yeah.
but you could get to the pier walking in about 20 minutes, maybe.
Down
at the
south
most.
on Yokohama's down there? Yeah.
But I was right off
Good
the
waves
beach,
right
man.
there. Really good
I
waves.
found my own little left.
Oh, that's so
that
cool.
was a consistent left. And then when my boys found out I was there, they all came out, and we were all of us living in this bachelor pad. It was just one room. It was not like it was a room and then a living room. It was a room, and then it had an area that had a refrigerator, but
And just a bong.
a bong and surfboards with
Wet wetsuits
everybody's-
stinking the whole place up.
and all the
every one of my friends' houses
towels
smells like that.
was the sheets. So everybody slept
dried
on
off
their
the sheets.
surfboards.
That's so cool. Those are the
Yeah.
best times of my life back
Yeah,
in those days. This
yeah.
being a surf rat there's nothing like it. There's nothing like being a surf rat. And
Yeah.
all you want is a Mexican burrito after you surf for 7 hours. And then all you want is beer right before you go to bed and a bong load, but done. Surfers. Easiest people to get along
and
with.
great waves to think about and dream about and just
And
jump on.
at that point, you're not thinking anything to do with music. At that point, you're just like, what happened when you got here? Did you start shaping, or did you not? You just
I
kind of
didn't
put
get
that
that far
aside.
because I saw, man, this scene here is gnarly for the professional side of it, the business side of the industry. It was way crazy, way more than I didn't want to get into all that. I just loved, like I said, this was just when they were starting to make skate parks.
Oh, right.
But before that, I would go around the neighborhood and I would steal from the houses that were being built. I would steal their wood.
Nice.
And then we would find somebody's backyard, because I lived in Florida. Everybody lives on a lake, kind of, in a way. And the lakes usually have like steep inclines into the water. So I was making skate ramps the best way we could. You know, we would, like I say, take the wood and then we would nail everything together. And sometimes, man, you eat it really bad because the wood comes up on the nail.
Yeah. That's where masonite came in. You put the little masonite in front of the 2x4. I mean, the
but
plywood
we
because it
didn't
was
even
so
know
thick.
that stuff yet.
That's what I grew up. I mean, what you're talking about is exactly how I grew up. I started skateboarding and got into surfing because of it, because you're kind of tired of hitting your knees on the cement. You're like, I kind of want to be around girls in bikinis.
Yeah.
I kind of like being rinsed off instead
of...
of...
the beach bunnies, man. That was the other reason why I came out to California.
Right?
Because we would see what we called and ing. So basically that's surfer and surfing. So, but when they would come out, did you get
the magazines?
New ing? Yeah.
Oh my
Did you
God,
see
right?
the new
I talked about the other day. I had a podcast with my friends, and we talked about how it's when a surf mag came out, we would be over each other's shoulders. Because only one guy would be able to hold it, and we'd be like, "Oh my God!
Yeah,
oh my God!"
couldn't believe that the next issue, the waves are fucking gnarlier than the last, one after the next.
Isn't that fun?
And you just go like, "Oh my God, is that real?" Or they couldn't have made that.
Yeah,
when we first started seeing them getting air.
Yes.
And then they couldn't
They
have
didn't
made
make
that.
They couldn't have made that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
I had to come and see for myself.
That's so cool. And how long did you do the Oceanside scene for? Was that years?
I did that for about maybe at the most a year. So, like
You're
I said,
20. You're like around 20.
Yeah, maybe 19.
Unreal.
18, 19 at the most. But then, of course, when you're there, so I knew I didn't want to be anywhere near Los Angeles because, back in those days, there was no EPA or anything like that. So if you'd see LA, you'd see LA coming from like 30 miles back. You could see a yellow smog thing. You go, whoa. And I knew I never would live in Los Angeles, right? But I wanted to go. I visited Encinitas and Leucadia.
Leucadia must have been funky back then, huh?
Oh,
it was
so cool. Like, my dream was to live on the West Coast in that neighborhood and have smoothies and avocado sandwiches.
I love it.
The beach bunnies.
They're still there.
The beach bunnies were the cutest girls in the world.
Even Jimi Hendrix spent some time in Leucadia, I heard back in the day. Like, he lived up by the cliff by Neptune.
Really?
And all that. Yeah, there's a house there where I lived.
So cool.
They said Jimi Hendrix spent a summer there, and it was always my place. Leucadia is funky. Love it.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of there.
So I found a place on... So what I did was I wanted to go to art college. So I found this college that was in Orange County, but I have to drive there. But I lived off of Manchester Avenue. Yeah. I could see the beach if I walked up on my roof. I could see the beach from there, and that place, Cardiff by the Sea, is such a lovely, chill place to be. The wave itself is
the
incredible.
Cardiff Reef, and then you got Seaside.
Yeah.
Avocado toast. Just kidding.
Yeah, and then I got a job as a jewelry designer in Del Mar, working for this lady. So that took care of the money, and then I wanted to go to college. I wanted to go to art college. So here's something interesting about me. When I was younger, I was a wrestler. When I lived in New York, I was the state champion of New York.
What?
New York state champion.
You must have weighed absolutely nothing.
113 or
Did you have to make weight? My brother was a wrestler,
Yeah.
and he would throw up, and he would go through the ringer for that stuff.
I didn't have any problem making weight, as you can see. But the reason I tell you that, why did I tell you? Oh, yeah. So when I went to this college briefly, it was Miracosta College.
I remember hearing about that college.
So I always wanted to go to art college. So I figured, all my other friends, actually, they graduated high school, and then they, some of them went on to college. And I felt like, oh, man, am I stupid or something? I go, well, wait a minute. I can go to art college. Yeah. I would like that, So I was trying to go to college, and, of course, I have to support myself. And then I was in the gym working out at the college, and I was showing off benching. I could bench like 3 times my weight. Wow. And they got me into wrestling again. They were like, man, you should join the wrestling team. So, all right, I'll join the wrestling team. So now I was trying to get up in the mornings to catch daybreak. Surfing. And go and be a wrestler. And then I got a job at night.
Doing the jewelry still, or done jewelry? At this point, done jewelry?
Because the jewelry was, if they needed a design, they would call me up and say,
it wasn't full time. It was just
It wasn't
part-time.
full time, so it was like piecemeal. You know, I was living hand to mouth with that stuff. But somebody gave me a job. Somebody got me a job. I was working at midnight, from midnight until the morning, and I was supposed to be making vitamins. Right? It was a vitamin factory down somewhere like inland from Cardiff by the sea. Right there's these warehouses. So I couldn't do all of it. I ended up to have a nervous breakdown. But I want to tell you a funny story about the vitamin factory because you like this.
I can't believe you were going to vitamin factory. This is so great.
Yeah,
and you're a
I mean,
wrestler.
it was
That gets you here. Isn't that funny? You're here now, but I love hearing how you got here.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait to hear this. What's up with the vitamin factory?
Okay, so at the vitamin factory, this guy Carl, his name was Carl Kananchuk. I'm sorry if I'm ratting you out, Carl, but we got in trouble anyway, so this is all water under the bridge. But so I used to mix vitamins in these giant vats, and I would look over the vats, to see if it was being mixed in well. I don't know if I had a paddle or whatever I had,
Is that how you make vitamins in these big things?
You pour in these
I've always wondered
gnarly ingredients.
And it turns into these little pills.
Yeah, and the ingredients are so gnarly that I lost my hair,
I'm
of
putting
my
these in my
eyebrows
body.
and my eyelashes. I lost all the hair from the
chemicals
ascorbic
or whatever?
acid.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was losing it bad.
Oh, wow.
And I was trying to surf. I was trying to mix these vitamins. I was trying to wrestle. I had a fucking nervous breakdown. Like, the end of it was, I looked in the mirror and I had no eyebrows. I had no eyelashes. I was trying to catch waves in the morning and I just couldn't keep it all together, So I gave up. To tell you the truth, I ran away from home when I graduated high school. I just took a Greyhound out here.
You rode a bus out here?
Yeah, Greyhound bus.
Fucking A.
But I returned. Finally I got a hold of my parents again, because I didn't know what else to do, just to see like I can't keep up with all this shit.
And your family was okay? Like when you came back to them, everything was okay? My dad was, he really was a jewelry designer, but he also had ties to the mafia, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. In New York City, he grew up with the Lansky brothers, and he was in the jewelry industry, and, diamonds are traded around. And he made cement shoes? Cement shoes?
No, he didn't kill people, I don't think. But he knew people that did.
Yeah. So
But anyway, so I went back home, and he got me a job selling jewelry. But it wasn't real jewelry. It looked like real jewelry, but I would walk around with a case. I open up the case. I'd walk into a jewelry store on the West Coast here. I would go up as far as San Francisco. I would sleep in my car, and I had my suit and tie in the trunk.
And your surfboard
and I would sleep. Yeah, I would sleep in my car, and then I'd get up. I'd see if I could sell some jewelry to a jewelry store.
Oh my God.
It was
You're
crazy.
slanging rocks.
I thought I would, but it wasn't real jewelry. Like, I would take an order from them. I would say, like, you can order these rings. I can't give you this one, but it's what it's going to look like, right?
Oh, I see.
And I was...
like Amway. Remember that?
Yeah, it's kind of like Amway.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do it, man. My karma and the way things were, you know how in this world everything is timing, right?
Right.
Well, at that time, my dad got me the job, and so I got a car. I'm back in Florida. I drive that car out. I met this girl when I was down in Del Mar. She worked there too. I'm not gonna say her name. She was a real horny broad, man. She wanted to sleep with me, but to be honest with you, you can appreciate this. She didn't turn me on, really.
Really?
She was too big for me.
Yeah, that's normal. I like petite
You
girls
know what I
too.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't matter how big you are, but guys like girls that are a little smaller than
Smaller
them.
than them, yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're not attractive. It just means you're not right for me.
Exactly.
But anyway, she ended up, she was cutting everybody's hair up here. Now she was a very artistic girl. She worked at the jewelry store. Now she was up here doing punk rock haircuts. So back in those days, and I'm talking 1980, 81, 82. So she was living in the city with these musicians, and I moved up here. I'll tell you how I got up here and how I got into the music industry.
We still got the Regal Beagle. What is it?
Buick Regal. Yeah.
Regal.
I should have got a license plate.
Regal
Beagle.
That's you and Jack. What's his name? Jack
someday.
Tripper.
Someday we should do something with that name. But
bring it back.
So I was. So as you know, I was shit at selling jewelry in those days, and I didn't know what to do. So my dad made another. I had disappeared off the face of the earth. The truth is, my dad and I had a terrible falling out. My dad was, like I say, he knew all the good fellas in New York.
He's old school too. I mean, your pops is from the 20s and 30s,
from the 40s.
Right? 40s, yeah,
that was
in
his
New York.
Heyday. Like he was into like Cab Calloway. He was a zoot suiter.
Oh, it's so cool. I'd love to see photos of
Yeah,
that.
he loved going out to jazz clubs.
He had the best jewelry on earth too, because he was a baller, right? I mean, he had the coolest stuff
he
on.
was. He sure was.
Fuck yeah.
So, but like I say, he knew the good fellas. And when we went down to Florida, we moved down to Florida. This was the 70s. So that was during the Tony Montana era.
Oh yeah.
Cocaine was, private nightclubs, the 3-piece suits, disco.
Heck yeah.
Florida, Miami Beach, right? Well, but also the mob was there. Everybody was coming south to retire, and there was a kind of a better life down there in Florida.
A lot warmer.
But my dad had a bad falling out with them. They eventually, he was running numbers, and he was getting older anyway, so he had less clientele from his, his front. And the mob was kind of moving in on the family, so they were running numbers out of my dad's store, and eventually they took all our money. Like eventually, you get what they call the Mafia Experience.
Right.
If you hang
too
long enough, we went through the Mafia Experience. So my dad had a full-on heart attack because he had a lot of pride, and he had too much pride to tell me that he'd been ripped off by the mob. And because I'd worked for him, Benji, I'd worked for him my whole life. And I only asked that he give me, when I graduate, enough money that I could take a surf trip to, I wanted to go to...
Where was your bucket list place to surf?
The place was in the Bahamas.
Barbados?
Not Barbados.
Puerto Rico?
No.
Tortola?
No.
Oh,
Eleuthera. Is it Eleuthera?
Yeah, I think
Eleuthera.
so. Yeah. No, wait, what made you know about
Eleuthera.
that? From a magazine?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you
Because
saw a
in
travel one.
Florida, we wanted to go to the Bahamas. Eleuthera's a spot I wanted to go to. You couldn't talk about Cuba. You couldn't get there. But we can go to the Bahamas and surf. And then some of us, the better ones, were trying to get out to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And the ones that just were like, I like the California lifestyle, like myself, like I want to go there.
Right.
Because I just looked at that lifestyle and I thought, look, if you're going to just move to Hawaii, you better get ready, because if you're not connected there, that could be a tough, a long road to
Marvin
to
Foster and Johnny
accepted.
McDowell.
Yeah.
That was scary times
So
back
I
then.
thought, I'll go to Cal. Some of my friends were out in Hawaii. My best friend from my surf crew, Robert Yonover, moved out to Oahu, and he's still there. He's a big wave rider. He rides still to this day by himself. He goes out and he takes a small boat out to Rabbit Island.
Oh, wow. He lives over on the Makapu side?
Yeah.
That's
He lives
so
by
cool.
China Walls.
Yeah.
So when I go, that's why I go there a lot.
Is your buddy still?
Yeah, He's my best friend from the old days.
And you would come visit him
My
every once
surf
in a while?
crew. Yeah, whenever
So whatever
I go out there.
happened when you asked your dad for this, just one thing from him, right? You
I
just want the
said,
surf
just
trip.
hang on. He goes, like, I am holding on to your money. When you graduate, I go, I want a board. And, you know, these mob guys, they're like, what do you want, kid? What do you
Right.
want? Anything you want. So I said, look, all I want is, I wrote it down. I want a 7.2 pintail. I want
Do you remember
it to
what
be
kind?
silver pintail.
You're just a
I
brand
was
new
just
one.
a kid,
Just something
you know?
good one, yeah.
So they go, what do you want? I got a warehouse. I got a warehouse full of surfboards. I go, okay, cool.
Of course they do.
So that guy disappeared. He ended up dead. He ended up with his dick in his mouth. They found him in the trunk of his own car. The guy, he still owes me a 7.2 silver pintail.
Are you the one that put him in that trunk?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't, but when I heard about it, I wasn't that upset.
Oh man, that sucks. And then
So
Pops
my
never got
dad,
it. Never gave
my
it to
dad
you.
was too proud to say to me,
Money got taken.
yeah, they took the money, son. So what he said was, I'll never forget this. He said, what money?
Oh
So
no.
that's what got me, that's what set me off. So that's what set me
Wow.
off. I said, go
outta
fuck
here.
yourself. And I had my good friend Robert drive me to the Greyhound station. I had my surfboard. I had art supplies. And I'm sure I had underwear.
It's fun to have perspective of that being a moment of really one of the best things that could ever happen. Because it got you away
a
from these.
terrible
Yeah,
moment.
it got you away from whatever that was.
You know, Benji, that's really true. That's why
It's
I say this world is all so much about timing
Yeah.
and karma.
And failure is the biggest lesson you'll ever have. I was telling
Yeah.
Annie, I go, the thing about being stressed and about and doing things wrong is the only way to get good at things. You can't be good without failure. Failure is important.
And
Not,
you won't
not
be
moment.
great.
As long as you're
Unless
not
you
the
fail
reason
a
why you
bunch of
fail,
times
you know,
either,
just
'cause
pick stuff up.
To be great, you have to go through failure.
Yeah.
Because the only way to be, you know, the term greatness means you've overcome
Exactly.
things and conquered them.
Yes.
But what is it that you conquer is going to fuck you up.
Maybe you get that
plenty
brand new
before it
surfboard.
happens.
Maybe you get the first class ticket to the best surf trip ever, and then your dad's got you by the balls, and maybe he controls you from that point, thinking
Yeah.
that I gave you this, now
Yeah.
you owe me this.
Yeah, not
know?
that I wouldn't have. I really
You would've
wish I
done.
would have got that silver surfboard.
But
And
now you
that
have
trip.
100 surfboards. I walked into your garage and I saw
Yeah. And the
12 brand
funny
new
thing-
surfboards. I think we're good now
Yeah.
on surfboards.
Exactly.
And it's not a single fin out there. I see some good ones. I
Yeah.
saw one with the front pad, looks like a Matt Archibald model or something. The one on the very top.
yeah,
That looks
yeah.
like a fun board. I could
Yeah.
ride that board.
I've got one Kelly gave me that he shaped for me. I've got one out there.
Dude, let's shape a board together. I have a shaping room in San Diego.
You
I
what?
shape surfboards. I've shaped 180 boards.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I do. And it'd
Maybe
be
I'll
fun
come down,
for you
man.
to do
I'll
it.
spend a weekend with you.
And you could shape it yourself. I'll just start it for you. We'll get the rocker, and then we'll do the cutout, basically the outline, and then I'll let you do the rails.
What's
and you
your
can
local spot?
Now I'm down in there, but I'm always an Encinitas guy for life. Like I owned a
Really?
house there for 15 years.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I
That's
love it
where
there.
I'd love to surf.
We'll
I'd
do it
love
at
to
Rob
go to
Machado's.
Cardiff.
We'll do Machado's
Yeah,
shaping room.
that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be so fun.
We'll do that.
I
We'll go
love that
surf.
guy.
Yeah, Rob is he's my next podcast. We have such a small community.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think you're going to remember this one either, but we went to see you guys play right after Todd died in San Diego at Coors Amphitheater. And you said on the mic, and I was still reeling off of losing my best friend. And you said this one goes out to Todd. And you probably meant it for Todd, whoever. I don't even know why you said Todd.
If he
but
just said died,
he
then
just
it was
died, and you
probably
said,
that.
"Oh, this one goes out to
'Cause
our
I
guy
knew-
Todd."
I didn't know him, but of course I knew of him.
When you said it, though, I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, could that mean even more to me?" That was just a moment in time that'll never pass without me thinking about it.
Wow.
Because you said it, and I'll be honest, we were on Molly or whatever. Back then,
But
it was
who
called
were you
ecstasy.
with?
I was with all the surfer
Did you
guys.
know Block?
Ken Block?
No, Cesadio.
Oh no, I
Were you
never
with
met him back then.
Oh,
no.
okay.
But I was with the pro surfer dudes. And
Okay, so maybe that's why I said it,
yeah,
because I
and
knew
you
about
said
all the
it.
cats.
We're so far away, and I'm like, he just said this one goes out to Todd. Did anyone hear that? And it just resonated. And then you ended up. This is funny. You're gonna probably not remember, but you ended up after that song. You came up behind us. Do you remember that? Where you would go up on top and start jamming above us on the stage? You probably don't remember. This is so long. This is 20 years ago, 25 years ago. But you were playing in Coors Amphitheater down here, and then
Right.
you guys went black, and then all of a sudden the light went, and you were right behind us.
Right.
It
Yeah,
was
we had two
insane.
stages,
Two
yeah.
stages, and we were sitting by that one, far away from you, because we all were on ecstasy,
Right.
and we
And
were
then the
just
next
rolling.
thing
And
you
you're all,
know,
this one goes
I'm
out to
right
Todd.
there.
I'm like, he just say that, you guys, and then all of a sudden, boom, behind us. You're behind us. I'm like, come on, enough with the surprises. I was like, can we stop surprising me? I'm on Molly. Back then, it was called ecstasy. By the
That
way.
was the '97 tour.
It was 97 because he just died.
That's when I met Etty.
No
on that
way.
tour.
That's crazy,
So
Train.
love blossomed out of that.
That was a
that
long,
tour.
97 is 25 years ago, right? 25, I think. It was a while ago because we just had his 25th anniversary, 24. Yeah, we lost him then. That was a bummer. But
you
you
know
said
what?
that.
I'll tell you something I learned. I'm into mysticism, so I love to study
I saw it over there.
mysticism.
Is that book over there with the religion and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I learned this today that Moses, he died. It was recorded the day of his death. It's recorded in Torah. But so there was this bad guy, many years later, after Moses had led basically practically 600,000 people out into the desert away from Egypt to get this book, the Torah, and take them into the land of Israel. But he died. He never made it into Israel. Anyway, the date was recorded. And many years later, there was a celebration called Purim. We celebrate the fact that we, the Jewish people, were not annihilated. This was, I don't know, a few centuries later, this bad guy, his name was Haman, wanted to annihilate the Jewish people. And he picked the day of Moses' death to annihilate us. So he picked this day, let's make it up at the 9th of Av, or whatever day it is. Before we go, I'll find out exactly what day it was.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let's just say it, 9th of Av, that was the day Moses died. I think I'll pick that day to annihilate all the Jewish people. What this bad guy didn't understand was, so he was basically using karma and timing
Right.
against the Jewish
people,
people,
yeah.
thinking that this is going to work for me. I know something. This is a terrible day for them. What he didn't understand was Moses was also born on that same day. The day that Moses died
It was the day he was born.
was the day he was born. So the karmic reaction was actually a good thing. So if you do something on that day, because it was such a great day, that was the day that Moses was actually
born.
brought into the world, and he didn't know that. So this guy Haman eventually got hung. They hung him
Wow.
because, the inside is this, Benji. There was this beautiful Jewish girl that the king fell in love with, and she happened to be Jewish.
Oh, no.
So she went to him
Ultra.
and said, "Please don't do that to my family." And he goes, "Oh my God." I think her name was Esther. "I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make you my queen." He married her and he hung Haman.
No way.
And the reason I'm telling you all this is days that people think are terrible occurrences. If you live righteous and you just do your thing and be a righteous fellow, you can turn those things into great occasions.
Right.
Like, I go back to my friend Taylor, that day that he died, I look at it, it was right at Lollapalooza. I mean, it just happened when we were down at South America during
you were down there.
Lollapalooza.
You're down there with him.
And I thought to myself, this is the worst day of my life. And now, forever, every time I think about going down there, which I do every year,
Right.
we go down there at the same time, I'm going to think terrible things. But now that I found out that Moses, when he died, it's actually a great day, because even though it's the day he died, I'm going to use now that information. Now next year when we go
Celebrate it.
down, I'm going to celebrate music like I never celebrated.
Exactly. That's what he needs. That's the
So
only thing he
your
can do.
friend Todd, that could be like a great day for watermen.
Oh man, it always is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's so. I mean, I hated surfing. I was 21. He was my roommate. First person I moved out, and started traveling with. We both were up for the cover the day he died. I ended up getting it. He left me a message saying alligators was 25 feet.
Wow.
And he goes, "It's huge. Fuck you. You got the cover." He's like, "I'll talk to you later." and then having to bury him and have to go through that whole thing. I hated surfing. I hated the ocean. I drive by alligators. This is so similar to what
I
you're
know
talking
that's
about.
how I feel about South America.
I would drive by and I would go. I would always not look out there where the wave was. I'd be like, "Fuck you. I hate you." I just had this. It was right on the middle of the North Shore where he died. So every time I drive by it, every time until recently when we go, we always put flowers on the day of his birthday and stuff. We always put flowers on it.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it because I made peace with it, and I realized
you gotta make peace with it, and you gotta go even beyond that.
Totally.
You have to make it a great thing. Because look, man, we're all gonna die. So
100%.
why not make that moment important, but in a positive way?
Yeah, everything has to be about
righteous
positive.
way,
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Because when you do have that anger built up, everything about your life stops. You don't go anywhere. You just sit there in your own shit, Like that's the hardest thing about loss is if you don't celebrate and be around his family and be around your friends and keep living, then that shit will build up and it really can ruin you.
And do you believe in reincarnation?
100% karma, because that's why I love Bali. I know we haven't even talked about Bali. Bali is my jam. I had to move back to save my mom's restaurant, but I was living there for 10 years, and that was my favorite place. And that's another thing. I hate to bring up your music because I'm sure everyone asks you about your music, but Porno for Pyros, when you guys recorded that, was that in Bali? Didn't he record some music there?
We wrote it there for sure, and then we would record whenever we would go on surf trips.
And you got to go live in Bali and record music? That's the coolest thing ever. And I love, you got to tell me, Bali Eyes is about mushrooms, right?
Yeah, being there. Yeah. We had just finished recording the first record, and so we all celebrated by going there. Half the band didn't surf, Mm-hmm. I mean, what I loved about Porno was we would always go out. We get to go on surf trips, and I wouldn't say write them off because of course we have to pay for them. But in my mind, hey, we're writing it off. We're working on music.
Probably really good,
and
for writing up there. Huh?
It was. It's fucking amazing for writing. And you've got.
And what are you in Tahiti? Are you in Tahiti surfing, and then you come in and you almost drown, right? I mean, you almost drowned, but you almost got lost. Tell that story. Tell the story.
So.
This is a cool story.
So this spot is way out there to the point that you got to squint to see how many people are on the lineup. There's not that many,
They're called barrier reefs for all you non-surfers out there. There's reefs. I mean, you usually take a boat. Yeah, so why didn't you take a boat that night? What happened?
Okay, so I didn't because we would paddle out. Of course, back in those days, everybody didn't have a fucking jet ski.
Yeah.
It was like, you paddling. So we would paddle out. I decided to come in early from the early session, and I passed out, and I woke up, and it was starting to get kind of dark, and I looked around, and I was asking around for Roger, who was he was back in those days my manager, but he used to be my drug dealer kind of a thing. He was my drug dealer, but he did become my manager, and we did.
And he surfed
too? He did pretty good. Yeah, he was a good surfer.
Oh, perfect.
And so he lived next door to me. He knew everybody in Venice. I was welcome. You talk about the Venice Crew. They welcomed me. Mm-hmm. When they knew that I surfed, they gave me, back in those days, do you remember Bronze Age clothing?
Yeah.
So they took me down to Mexico to surf the Mexican pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Porto Escondido, and that's where I met the guys from Venice, and I met Pete DiStefano, who plays in Porno for Pyros, the guitar player. I had broken up with Jane's Addiction. I didn't want to fucking do nothing but, I want to surf, I want to make art.
And so all the Porno guys surfed, or a couple of them?
Pete surfed. Mm-hmm. The other guys...
Could take it or leave it? They were just
they didn't surf, we got them into it.
But they came to Bali, they came to
Tahiti.
They're like, I'm not too mad about this.
You got to come with us. We'll take you out to the lineup if we think it's safe for you. We'll take you out there. and it wasn't safe for them, but we took them out there. And we gave them the fucking shock of their life being out in a lineup,
Fuck,
you know, like
yeah,
a
there's
6-foot
everything
lineup.
out there.
It's heavy out there, but they had courage. I saw them like try to catch a wave, and then, are you away?
And
Are
the
you
reef
okay?
is so sharp
and then
there.
They went in after one wave, but that was cool that they
Yeah,
did
they
it.
tried it.
But Pete and I surfed, and Roger surfed, so that's why we would always end up in some place around the world
That's
to
so
surfing.
cool. So you wake up from your nap.
So I wake up from the nap, I look around, where's Roger? I don't know. So I go, I don't know, I think he's in the pool room. I'll go over to the pool room, he's not there. So you know how we are. We're all concerned for each other on surfing. You can fucking die real easy, and it doesn't even have to be that big. You know, I know people that have broke their necks in like 1 foot of surf.
Yeah.
So much less. Now we're in Tahiti, and it's scary, and you're way out there surfing this place. If something goes wrong, nobody knew where he was. So I'm down on the beach, and I'm looking out there, and I can't see anybody, but it's getting dark. So I'm thinking, I got to do something. I just panic went over me. I look on the beach, and there's this fucking dilapidated rowboat. It said, like, I don't know, the name of the hotel is like the Bel Air or something like that. I don't know what it said. But it was pretty dilapidated to the point that it had inner tube holding it together. So somebody had taken an inner tube. I think it was there basically as a little statuette.
Oh, it wasn't even for those actual ocean anymore?
I don't think it was, but I panicked.
The paperweight.
I fucked up, Benji.
You got in it?
I got in it. Oh, yeah. I said, fuck this. And I got in the damn boat, and I rode it out there. I rode out there, and I'm telling you, man, you should believe in God, because these things are miracles. These things that happen, because
100%.
you're out in nature.
Always.
When it's God and nature gets very real. I was out there. It was dark. He wasn't out there. And I got out there, and as soon as I got to the spot, when it was time for me to turn around, like, okay, he's not out here, a wind came up on me, and all of a sudden, I couldn't.
It started blowing offshore?
It started blowing offshore and taking me out.
Oh, shit.
So I tried to turn it around real quick, and like a miracle, a bad miracle, like a bad omen, the fucking inner tubes came off of it, and it split open. It split open like the rib of a whale. It just went flip.
This is the boat.
The boat.
Oh my God.
And I tried to take like 2 rows. I was up to my waist.
Oh no.
I tried to take 2 rows, and then I went, it's going down. I threw the paddles off to the side, and the fucking boat went down, and
No surfboard? No surfboard?
I didn't have a surfboard.
Oh my gosh. So this is totally different from what I thought. I thought you were on your surfboard.
And it's going dark.
Holy
so
shit.
I threw the oars to the side, and I started to swim. And man, and this is true, because you can ask the guys.
No,
they sent a search party out for me. They thought I was dead. The weird, I mean, if anything could be funny about this, the irony was, my press agent for Warner Brothers Records happened to be at that hotel.
Oh fuck.
So they had put together a search party to look for me, and this guy Bob, I forget his last name, Bob Arum's a fighting promoter. Bob something was there. He was no doubt about to write my obituary.
Oh my God.
I swam and swam.
And the currents there are out of this world. They pull out.
I saw the shore, and then I didn't see the shore. I was swimming so long that I saw the search party lights. So the search party lights were coming at me, but
you're swimming. You're up to your neck, and you're
I'm
just
up to my
doggy
neck
paddling.
and swimming, and I can see them. I knew they wouldn't hear me, but I tried anyway, and I screamed at them, "Hey!" And I could see the searchlight going like that on the boat, on the front of the boat, and I saw them go home.
Oh my gosh.
That's how long I was swimming. And I said to myself, all right, you can drown yourself, because I wasn't tired.
Yeah, so you just have to stay
I was doing the back float, you know. I was doing like I could do this until I pass out. And
what
then
I
I
always
said,
tell people.
or you can drown yourself.
Uh-huh.
And then I went, and I'm Jewish, right? But I went, God! And nothing happened. And I start swimming, and I start thinking to myself, if you don't drown yourself, you could get like half eaten by a shark.
Yeah, there's
What
so
would
many
you rather
sharks
do?
in Maria.
What would you rather do?
Yeah.
Like, maybe you should drown yourself. And I thought to myself, no, just swim until you just can't swim. But I was close. And then I yelled it out, Benji. I went, Jesus! And I saw the shore.
Yes, you finally are in the
After
lagoon
I
more.
yelled
You're
out,
now inside.
Jesus, it was like I went through a time portal. I saw the shore, and I was at this place they called Fool's Gold. It wasn't the good spot. It was the spot that you see when you're there, and you go, oh, you don't surf over there. Why? Because it's really shallow.
Yeah.
And it will fucking tear you up. That's why they call it Fool's Gold, because many a surfer
I know where that is.
thought,
Look, get in here. Right here. And we're talking about Perry's experience in Tahiti where he almost drowned. Scary, but you saw the shallowest, scariest
I
place
saw
ever.
the spot where they told me don't go over there.
What did you do?
But the ocean had gone. I'd swim for so long that the tide actually had brought me back. Now the tide was going in.
Yes.
And it was taking me onto the side of the island they call Fool's Gold. And I was happy as you can be in your whole life
When you
to
got
see
to
this
land.
place. I don't even care that it's Fool's Gold. The wave was going to take me, and it did, and it fucking
Threw you on the
smashed me down onto the reef. I had hundreds.
So this is fire coral. This is like the craziest, sharpest reef in the world where he was at. So I can't even imagine how many cuts. What happened? Just tore you up?
I allowed the wave. It took me the third wave. One wave hit me, bam! It hurt so bad, but it actually, I thought, but you're gonna live.
You're gonna be home now.
I'm fucking happy as hell. I don't give a shit.
I've been
And
there.
it happened again, and then the third one, I came onto just
Pushed you up
glided
onto
me
there.
onto the shore. I had all these fucking terrible cuts and sea urchins on me. I crawled up the beach, and they were all out on the beach crying about me and everything. And I come walking up the beach. I was so happy to see them, but they saw me, and they all took their dicks out and started pissing on me.
That's the best search party ever.
Because
Yeah, the
that
urchins.
is what
The
will
urchins.
heal the sea urchin.
Yeah, get some
I'm
out of
sure
it.
he knows.
Yeah,
For
that's the way to
6
get 'em
months
off.
after that, I had to take this stuff called quinine lotion to kill the
Urchins.
reef, because the urchin, once it gets its barbs in you, it starts to grow like if
Yes.
you're
I had them in my teeth, my gums. I smashed my
What?
face. Yeah. That's why I have this little stupid goatee. Is because there's a big scar right here because the urchins went into my gums. And
Yeah.
I know those things very well.
So there I was, man, and I have to admit to you, it kind of felt good. You
Yeah.
know? People,
Did he pee on?
everybody's pissing
Yeah,
on me,
yeah.
but I was alive.
You're like, God,
And
let
I
it
felt
out.
like it was warm, and I was on shore, and I was like, I don't care, man. This is actually fucking pretty cool. You know?
That's funny. You've never asked me to pee on you.
Well, he's never gotten cut on the reef around you.
I've been saving it for a special occasion. On the anniversary, I was gonna ask you to piss on you.
Yeah, he's gonna stub his toe, and she's gonna be like, "Can I pee on it?"
I'll just get one of the dogs to do it.
Let's talk about you for a second.
Okay.
What is it like to be in a band with your husband? It seems like a cool, creative, artistic way to kind of connect. Huh?
It is very good. I feel like we're one of the very few couples because we end up being so codependent with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a saying that distance makes the heart.
Grow fonder.
Distance make the heart goes wander.
Was wander? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But she came to this country when she was 10, and I think she didn't get everything exactly right.
No, I
think
know
it's-
exactly what I was.
No.
I know. When you're not near the one you love the one that's near. It's human nature. You get lonely. You know.
And you married a rock star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we
Marry a dorky,
Well, why
normal
don't you
guy.
say-
You can
but
leave
you
him in the
marry-
back. You
Well,
can
you
leave him at
should
home for
say
years
that.
and everything.
No, Benji, what you should say to her is, but you married a surfer.
Oh, good call. See?
I don't care about being
he's
a
grounded.
rock star.
Yeah.
But I do care about a surfer.
I do like that.
So we are
To
very.
me, that's a badge.
That
of,
is-
that's a badge of honor.
And it's an actual thing, right? It's an actual
Yeah.
thing.
It's an
Being a
actual
rock
thing.
star is not even a real thing. To be honest, you're an actual surfer.
Every other
It's
person
an actual
is a
life
rock
way to
star.
live your life. If you live like a rock star, there's a lot that comes with that. That means ego and pride, all this weird shit. Surfing will humble you every day of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so humbling.
But because nature is.
That's it.
That's it.
you
that's
respect nature. You're
She
humble
is
with
an
nature.
avid skier.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you surf too. Do you
Oh
surf?
no, I tried.
I've tried and I fucked up.
The
One
ocean
time
will
I tried to
kick your
teach her. The board came back and
Hit her.
hit her in the face.
Oh, I've done that.
And her
I've done that.
gorgeous face, she was out of there in like a heartbeat.
Yeah, Dad.
And
Ford
now I'm still
that
trying to
way.
get her in the water. So if you know any way I can.
Well, in Cardiff, down there, the
There
waves
we
are
go.
mellower. The
Thank
reef is
you.
in. We'll have
Thank you.
Robin Child's wife take you out.
To be fair,
Yeah.
though, I've been looking online, and one of the companies, Cynthia Rowley, has
Oh,
the
yeah.
most beautiful wetsuits.
Oh, they have such
Cynthia
cool
Rowley, yeah.
women wetsuits now.
Anyone can get me out there.
It's
it
the
would be
wetsuit.
the wetsuits.
Yes.
They
Yes.
do have really
They're
cute
gorgeous.
wetsuits now.
I do.
They used to be
They're gorgeous.
horrific. You know, women would wear a men's wetsuit like we used to have,
Yes, I
and
know.
they just didn't compliment women very well.
But she just got 2 Cynthia Rowley
Ski suits.
ski suits.
Super
Nice.
cute.
You're a
But
ski
You
buddy.
gotta show
I
them to them.
love skiing so much.
Skiing's fun.
Can I go grab them?
No, you know what? You know what
It's
though?
fashion show.
No, but he said that as he gets older, snowboarding, you get a longer ride because when you are surfing, it's a very short
Yeah.
ride, and you wait a
And-
lot, and you paddle
and you-
on.
It's a lot of work
Yeah,
for a
you-
little ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when
So
it's
I
good,
did
And you
Yeah.
like the fact that the chair brings you back up, and you don't have to use your arms. You have to use your arms a lot.
and then gravity.
Yeah, no, you know, it's.
Yeah.
I still love surfing, though. I will never give up surfing, but I have given up on the idea of surfing like the giant wave. Although, like I say,
You
all
say that,
respect
but
to-
then you go,
We could do it. We have jet skis,
No.
life jackets, we got everything. I took Kirk out to Himalayas and it was 15, 20 feet. He caught a 20-footer. That was like 15 foot. I like to tell him it was 20. Yeah, no, we took him out there, got some
really do
fun. Yeah, you know what? Kirk's got a lot of confidence. Like and that's what surfing, you need confidence and commitment. Like you have to commit.
Yeah.
As soon as you hesitate, you get hurt.
Yeah.
And I tell him that and he has no problem committing. He's
Wow.
obviously a little bit out of his mind, which is what you have to be as a surfer,
Yeah.
you know? You have to be a little bit
Yeah.
crazy. A little
yeah,
bit.
a little bit.
A little bit, not too much.
Not too much.
So is there going to be another satellite party?
well, I think we have a show coming up.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah?
it's not satellite party.
It's
So
the Tiny
changed it?
Heaven Orchestra.
Well, we do satellite party songs, but our new project is called Kind Heaven Orchestra.
Oh, nice.
And the next show we're doing, you're invited to.
Where is it?
It's
what,
in, oh
a
God,
month
I
or
want to
so?
say end of June. We're locking down the dates
With Porno for
it's-
Pyros.
in downtown.
Sweet.
And
Downtown LA or
downtown
something?
LA.
Downtown LA.
You have to come up for it. We'll
I
do
will for
porno
sure.
tracks. We'll do
Oh my
Bali
god, that'd be
Eyes.
so cool. You kidding?
The name of the game for me these days is collective. You know, you can do the same thing with surfing. You just got your surf collective.
Your creative mind
You go out
grows
there
from that,
and
right?
You can do surf movies
Yeah.
with it, have good time with it. Yeah, your creative
did,
mind. I'm hanging out right now. I just got back from London. I was hanging out with this wild dude. His name is Zoltar. His real name is Daniel. But anyway, he comes from very good stock. His grandfather was the Prime Minister of England, right? He lives in this place in Chelsea with people are coming and going all day and night, artists, and they're just making art all day and night. I got to show you it. I have a book of his art. I'll show you. But the art is so outrageous because it kind of gets handed over. Like he'll do something and hand it over to somebody, and it's kind of that's how he
that's
makes
how
his
it keeps
art.
getting-
I love that attitude in music too. So I've been making music in London with this producer James Ford. He produced Arctic Monkeys. It was his last. Some of the great records he's made with the Arctic Monkeys. But anyway, I have new material, and I'm going to be recording it with Porno, with James.
No way, rad.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I know. On the way over here, I did the Dua Lipa Elton John remix thing they just did. It's a song that I've always loved from Elton, but then remix, and I had to say I like it better. You know, and it's like you never think of it until you hear it, and you're like, why didn't I think of that? You know, like if you were with someone from a totally different genre, it's just for people that love your music, it's just fun to see something different. You know?
Yeah.
It is. It's exciting.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, the idea of looking behind me all the time. In other words, like, you know, that's why I don't like the
Live in the
term
past.
rock star. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean.
Whatever
It
that
sounds
means.
like it's cool, but actually, in reality, I don't want to be known as a rock star. I'd rather be known as something even greater than that.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I
why
mean?
I'm not a
as
pro
man,
surfer.
Not
No.
quite there on that. I want to be known as a great brother, a righteous brother,
Right.
great humanitarian, goodwill ambassador. I dig all those titles.
Well, it's because you have a good head on your shoulder.
Thank
The
you.
thing is you wouldn't be in this position. You would be in a gutter in Venice Beach right now with 9 needles in your neck, trying to figure out how to get higher and how to be
Yeah.
the real rock star that most people think is a rock star.
Right.
The label is put people on the ground and before it helps them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think being a human being is the best.
Yeah.
You know, of
You
compassionate.
got to start
loving.
there. If you can't pass a test of that, you're not going to be a great rock star anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest with you, I know people. This is really weird, Benji. You tell me what you think. But sometimes, you know, in the past, I've got my favorite musicians and bands and songs. And when you come to find out more about the person, when you hear great stories about the person, the songs can even be greater.
I
in your
totally
ears.
agree with that.
But you also hear shit about people, and then you go like, really? They're
And the
like
music sounds a
that?
little shittier to you.
Then the music starts to sound shittier, and then you
can't
don't
agree
even
more.
fucking want to like them anymore.
Yeah, so what do you guys see for the future in your guys' world? You guys just gonna live and die in La La Land, or are you guys gonna move to Tahiti to your own island?
I want to go to the mountains.
Yeah, okay, so this
Really?
is a good discussion.
Really?
Yeah, we have
This is couples
discussions
therapy.
about this. So, because I will be 70 one day,
Like in 6 years, it's a long time away.
Yeah,
You're fine.
but-
It's not
Yeah,
that
but
we
long.
got
when you
plenty
hit
Time,
60, you will know this, that you start thinking about what you should do when you're 70.
Right.
And so, I love the idea, of course, of being by some mellow Zen-like break that I can wake up every day and just be healthy, not get hurt too bad, but
in the water
be
every
healthier
morning.
and healthier, and that water will heal me, like Doc Paskowitz. I loved his lifestyle and his mentality. Although I know, you know, people say, well, like, it was a bit crazy living with, 8 or 9 kids in a van down by Trestles or San Onofre. But still, I don't care what you say. I think that was a fucking bright idea.
Yeah.
I think it was an awesome, unique, amazing
Family.
way to
Unbelievable
live.
family.
And that's, yeah, and the people are, each and every one of them in their own way are blessed and they're enchanted people. She wants to go
To
to
like
the mountains.
Montana or something. Yeah,
She
I'm not mad
loves
at
Aspen.
that.
We love
Or
Aspen.
I'm not to tell people this because I
but-
love it. It's like my favorite place. Waimea on the Big Island is horses ranch, and you're in Hawaii and it's cold. And then you go just
Oh.
a half hour down to the most beautiful beach in
But can you
Waipio.
ski and
Snow,
snowboard?
and you can snowboard. Oh my
For
god!
real?
Of course, in Mauna Kea. I mean, of course. You know, there's snowboarding in Big Island for 3 or 4 months a year. I mean, that's all you want to go anyway. You don't want to go all
No,
year.
no, no, no.
You want to tan. You want to be on the.
Yeah.
I'm Asian. We don't tan.
I know, but you gotta have a Machado and, and some sun and your puppies.
That is true.
That's
That
not a
is
bad
true.
Big Island too. It's like hello, it's Big Island, and they have every climate. You can go down to the beach, go up to the mountains. It's freezing. You can go to the snow. It's rains on one side. It's dry on one side. You know, you can get around and having a very diverse life over there. And they
But
can run around horses.
wouldn't it be great if you can have both?
Yes.
See, I have
Yeah, you
this
guys could
answer
do
to
both.
people sometimes when they ask me what would I like, and I always answer, why not both? That's my
I live in
answer.
Hawaii and San Diego.
My answer is both.
Hawaii and San Diego is not a bad gig. Hawaii and San Diego. That's all I can say. That's the best place. 5 hours. Boom. I'm back. Without the COVID test now.
But I also love living up in the mountains. I love hiking up hills. I like mountain biking, and I love snowboarding. So, if you can set your life up that way, I think that's the way to do it. You just live seasonally.
What about the sayings that we've had before our time, especially? Take a hike. Who's the first person to say that? Hey, take a hike.
Maybe
it was a guy in New York. It was a guy from New York. Ours, Moses. Or I was thinking the other one.
Put that in the show.
I was in the shower yesterday and I thought of another one. Kick the bucket. That means you're gonna die, right?
Right.
Well, I just thought about kick the bucket. Is it because you're being hung and they kick the bucket and you die?
Oh.
See, the other night I came up with all these ones. I was like, who's the first woman that told her husband, take a fucking hike? You're like, hey, take a hike. And the guy's like, okay. And he goes, or the kick the bucket, or all those sayings are so random. But when you think about them, to the nines, what does that mean? I'm dressed to the nines.
Because
like, why?
back in the day, to make a proper suit, a proper skirt,
I want to hear this.
It takes a whole 9 yards.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
I didn't even Google it. I got you.
She's a
To the
factoid.
nines.
I stay up all night, and it's funny you brought that up.
I wanted to know that.
A week ago, I read about the origins of all these different things.
Oh, no way! I gotta look that up on Google. I like trying to figure it out on my own. To the nines is so cool.
9 yards of fabric.
9 yards of fabric to make one piece? That's a lot.
One dress, yes.
Do you play instruments? Sorry to just throw random questions out, but I always want to know. And I see your guitars, I saw drums.
I
Do you
play instruments, but you know who's better at it than I am? My kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're better musicians than I am instrumentally. They all play instruments better than I am. As a matter of fact, my boys just went on his first road trip. I made him take a friend because he was about to go this morning. He was about to drive up to Monterey
By himself.
which you know where that is because it's a good surf spot up there.
About almost 20 to 2.
And he's going to charge out to Monterey.
He was about to go up to Monterey and sleep in his car.
And meet up with these musicians that he
Meet
met
up with these
once
musicians
in life, but they're really...
who he met at a party last week.
But he doesn't have their contact. They've been corresponding through Instagram.
And he doesn't understand, Benji, that there are some
times have changed.
Fucking creeps out on the freeways, especially the rest spots. He was gonna fucking
think about
sleep
you're in the
there by
Regal
himself.
Beagle slanging
I know.
freaking
That's
rocks.
how I know.
Yeah, but
That's
but you
how
gotta
I
let
know.
him do it. You gotta let him go for it. No, I love it. He's the parent now. This is so great.
I told him.
I'm gonna be the same way.
I said to him, look, I love that you're doing this. Call up Owen, who's his buddy who I know doesn't have a job. He can go with you. I said, call him up. I will pay for you guys to fucking sleep in a hotel.
No, he said that
I told him, man, you're gonna get hijacked. You're gonna get carjacked at the very least. And what more can happen to you? I don't even want to talk to you about.
But his reasoning was that he wanted to do it on his own. He wanted to be independent.
Which is cool.
I know, but
I like
and that's wonderful.
Right.
I can tell you.
But pick and choose your battles. Were to be independent. Safety first.
Yeah, still,
Safety
you're going to
first.
go up there, you don't know these people. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
You know what I mean?
As long as
And
he's
you're gonna
doing
be
it.
making
If he's
music,
doing it, he can
that's
sleep
cool.
in Motel 8, 6,
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And the place he picked is pretty awesome. It's called the Monterey Music Club. It's basically a privately owned but non-profit music studio where musicians can come and gather old,
That's
new,
insane.
Beginners, pro. And I think to rent the studio out is $5.
Oh, wow.
To rent
So
the
these young
space,
kids
and
are
like
like
$1 per additional person to help pay for the water, cleaning food.
Oh,
and all
that's
that.
they're making accessible.
So I love
Right,
that.
it's
place.
good,
That's
It's
right?
like a surf trip, you
Yeah,
know,
but
except
to stay in a hotel.
these days
You're not
by
sleeping
himself.
in a car.
Yeah.
You're
By
not
himself, and
sleeping
he's
in a
like
car.
he's like a gorgeous guy.
Hey, I love this
Forget it.
kid already.
What I say to him is, here's how you make sure that you don't fail. You have to have a plan.
Yep.
If you have a plan, then
Don't give up.
you factor in talent and everything. But if you don't have a plan,
Yeah, you're going circles.
you're gonna go in a circle.
Yeah.
I said, call your buddy up. He don't have a job. I know it. He can fucking hang with you.
Yeah.
And he did. Yeah. And he is.
That's
and
cool.
they're up there now. At least he's got a person driving with him.
Yeah, that's cool to have a safe friend with you.
You know.
Yeah. And the kid's a drummer to boot, so I told him, ask him if he can fucking
And
record
if something
some
happens,
tracks,
at least there's one. You know, two is better than one, for sure. It's a safety thing. It's a girl thing. You always go with another woman, right?
Yeah.
Girls, if you told me your daughter was doing that, I'd be like, get a fucking security guard.
Yeah.
I want a band that's armored.
But he's androgynous and gorgeous and some crazy dudes. I mean,
Boys get kidnapped.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm saying. I've fucking been in cars with dudes when I used to hitchhike back in the day, back in Cardiff. I would hitchhike all up and down that coast. There were some crazy, creepy serial killers that I got in cars with. I promise you. I've had to fucking punch my way out of a car down there,
In Cardiff.
knock a fucking guy in the face and say, let me out of this car right now.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, especially nowadays, man. I hate to say it, but we're in weird times.
Yes.
I mean, the weirdest of times.
Yeah.
I pick up people no matter what because I grew up in Hawaii, and if it's all about karma. But in California, I've never picked anybody up. Just because it just seems a little different.
Seem right?
Yeah, it just seems a little different here.
Yeah, there's a weird energy here that you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
Have a fucking plan.
You ever seen an Australian hitchhike? Anybody?
What do they do?
They point at the ground, and which is amazing because I'm hoping a bunch of Aussies are watching this. They go like this, and I go, "What about this?" They're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "This is how you get a ride." And they're like, "No, you go like this." And I'm like, "That's so rude." Here, pull over, get out there. And I'm like,
Right here,
Open the door right here.
It's like we had some beautiful girl from the '60s in a movie. Like, hey, like where did this come from? It kind of makes sense though in some weird way.
How about the leg?
The little
You
leg.
take out the leg. That was bold.
That was
bold.
If
man.
you saw your daughter pull her thing up and do this,
You
you're
should
like,
do
get
this.
out of that car.
You used to go like this.
Yeah, you pull it
I
up.
still do it.
What?
When we tried to get a cab back in the day when we were younger, totally. And there were competitions along the way. You're like,
They fly by everyone else. They're all,
excuse me, I need a ride.
That's so great. Dude, I can't believe it, you guys. We've gone over an hour and a half, and it's so cool. Yeah, I'll wrap it up, but I can't tell you how excited I am that you guys are coming down to Shape a Surfboard. That'll be so fun.
But not
Well,
just
maybe
that,
make
we're
her.
going to go and see you perform.
Oh my God, that's even more nerve
And we're
wracking.
going to go have, lunch
All the
over
dudes
at
are coming.
Rob's
All the dudes are
house?
coming. Yeah. You guys, I'll set it up tonight where Rob and all the. I think Rob's gonna go both nights, but I'll
You
set
know
it
who I
tonight
want
for
to
this.
hang with? The kid who's the longboard champion. That's who I want to become friends with.
Joel?
Joel.
You want Joel to come?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Because I've been in the water with that guy, and he can fucking surf a longboard so great.
Oh yeah.
And I really
He lives
admire.
a mile
He's right
from the
about my
thing.
size.
Yeah, he is.
So like I study
Okay.
him, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking like maybe I could do
Yeah.
that. Maybe I could do that.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
could do that. Are you goofy or regular?
I'm regular,
You know that
but I go
we
backside.
have two boys, and he tried to convince me to name our children. One Jerry, one Lopez.
That's
She wouldn't
insane.
go
There's
for
Jerry and here's Lopez.
Yeah. No,
That's so
she's
cool.
going like, no. Why would you do that? We're not Mexican.
Like,
I'm like,
we have no
it's not about
Lopez
that.
anywhere.
She's going like, no, Lopez is out of the question. I'm like, please, you don't understand what
Lopez
it
is
means
cool
to
though.
me.
That's a pretty cool name.
Lopez.
That'd be a cool first
He was
name.
my hero growing up.
I mean, he's still my hero.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy's the closest thing we have to an actual Buddha. Like he is.
Yeah.
He's an actual.
Yeah.
Buddha.
And it's one of the very few times where I've seen Perry speechless and nervous
Oh,
at
yeah,
a waterman's
Jerry
ball.
is-
And he goes, don't turn around. Why?
Yeah, Jerry,
This
man.
is Jerry, but shh, don't turn around. And we went to Puente Mita, and he used to have Cafe de Artiste. So he had a little locker, a little bed, and the security let him in. He just sat on the bed. Just,
Hey, man. This is a public.
but you really was so. It's one of the few times that you
I did.
really
Well,
were.
somebody told me that. Hey, the security guy goes, how did I get on this subject? Because I
You were
heard that
nervous
he had
to
a
see
surf camp down there,
Oh, okay.
and so
Oh, and he
I
does
go,
yoga at the surf camp, right? He teaches yoga most of
and
the
he
time.
teaches surfing too. And I go like, wow, how fucking cool is that? Down in Mexico, we were down there, Punta Mita, and the guy said, oh, you like Jerry Lopez? He's got his room right here. I go, you're kidding. He goes, no, right here. I'll show you. So he let me. I'm sorry about this, Jerry, but he let me.
That is so cool.
He let me
You were
in.
touching a
I sat on
surfboard.
his bed and I was touching a surfboard, but he wasn't
man,
there.
that is so
And I
cool.
didn't take anything.
Oh,
God.
I didn't take
oh my
anything.
god, that's so cool.
I might have if the security guard wasn't there. I was tripping though. Like, oh my God, Jerry stood
You're
on this.
taking
Look,
that piece
you
of
can
wax.
See his wax is all fucked up right there.
Have you seen him? Have you seen him do yoga?
No.
Oh my god. He wakes up every morning and does the headstand.
Really?
Forever. Like he's I don't know what, black belt, if you will, in yoga. Oh my god.
yeah,
I watched him
gotcha.
and I was just like, oh, this is why he is my hero. Like,
How old is he now?
I want to say 75,
Yeah.
maybe.
Wow, really?
I would have to Google it,
70,
but
is he in his
he's in his
70s?
70s for sure. I mean, it's Jerry Lopez, for God's sakes. He was big in the 60s.
Yeah.
So he's 75 or something, and in the best shape ever. I mean, he's phenomenal. I surfed in Bali with him, and I was blown away. He still rips, man. He's still the guy. I mean, that's just like
Look
that's
how
what you
cute
want.
you are.
That's what you want.
Right.
You want to be in your 70s surfing perfect laps, and are actually rights. I love that he's regular foot. Thanks for that. One for the regular foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, I can't wait for you guys to come hang out in San Diego.
That's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you trying to talk me into that? Yeah, it's gonna be great.
it's gonna be fun.
You're gonna have to get in the Regal Beagle. You're gonna have to put your
We
stuff
don't have
in
the
it.
Regal Beagle anymore. So in high school, the older surfers, they allowed me to hang out with them because I had a car. It's the
Exactly,
truth of
that
the
was a
matter.
big deal, dude.
They fucking wouldn't have nothing to do with me, but I could give them rides to the beach.
But
I
they're
got
your
surf
friends
racks.
now. You guys
Now-
grew to bond
Yeah,
together as
yes,
you got
yes.
older.
But anyway, this one guy, what was his name? Michael.
Make sure he's not around anymore.
It doesn't matter because it's the truth. It's the truth, and we've been saying the truth comes out nowadays.
That is true.
You can't
There's
hide
no way
it
around
anymore.
it.
You stick to the truth and you're golden.
Michael, this guy Michael, he was a. I ended up finding out that this guy ended up posing for like female naked magazines.
Playgirl.
Playgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the
scared that
kid.
you
He
know
got
about
me in
that,
trouble.
Hey, I knew it.
So he told me, he said, hey, look, I'll make you a deal. So you don't know this because you didn't live in Florida, but in Miami Beach, the best we could hope for was to catch a weekend to go up to Sebastian Inlet. Oh, yeah. That
Only
was
good
our
wave.
that was our dream. So we would wait until school was over, or if the waves were really good, we wouldn't wait until school was over. So the older kid said, look, I'll make you a deal, man. You take us up there. And what we used to do is something called riding the draft. So you get on the freeway and you find a truck.
Oh, you're
you get-
drafting it?
Yeah, you draft it because it saves on gas.
It's so true.
So,
I love it.
so I was
Really?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
doesn't that
Yeah,
make
but you
it
should-
hard?
Makes
but
it less
don't-
drag.
But I don't want any young people out there to do this.
It's
because
very
you're
dangerous.
The gas
basically-
prices, they're all
You're
doing it. That's it.
basically, you're basically driving 90 miles an hour right behind a truck, riding the draft of a truck. So
You have your boards on the top?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So good. That is the Regal Beagle.
I just got my car. I got this fucking badass Camaro. Not a new one, but it was a fucking Camaro. And the deal was I had with these older kids was you drive, and if you get a ticket, we'll split the ticket.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but what I didn't know was your
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 car
car
insurance
insurance. They might just
Clip you.
Because you're also
cancel
very young,
you
too.
because I was very young. So as soon as I got home, I got punched in the fucking face. They took the car away.
He's like, you're driving a Regal Beagle now. Get that Camaro out of here.
Yeah.
Worse gas mileage, but
Yeah.
more safe.
Yeah.
I love all these talks. I'm going to say thank you so much, you guys, for being
Thank
so
you,
sweet and
guys.
getting me buzzed. Thank you. I
Yeah.
feel great. Wanted to have michelada.
Yes.
Annie Graziano. This is my partner, my director, producer, and everything. She's going to
Cool.
be with me for the whole ride that we're on.
Well, I wish you guys the best success.
Thank you.
And I can't wait. And if you need somebody to bounce off from your material,
Yes.
call me.
I know you guys are good critics. They didn't laugh at any of it.
No,
I'm just
laughed at all of
kidding.
it.
I'm playing. No.
Etty is
but-
so polite, she would laugh even if it wasn't funny. So you can't even tell from her.
No, that's,
So she's
that's
always
not
When-
so-
true.
she'll
That
text
is
me
not-
later and go, you do need some work.
No, but I am I'm a good one to bounce it off of.
Yeah.
We can like
You're-
make the jokes up.
You're a performer.
I'll
And
hang in there with you.
I
We'll go
appreciate
through
it.
it
I
together.
love your sensibility and your openness to everything. I like the way you dress and you put yourself
thanks,
out
man.
there. I think it's encouraging for people out there to see somebody living their best life, as they say nowadays.
Thank you.
And it's a cool thing,
Yeah.
especially because you are the person that everyone dreams that you are. It's cool.
Oh,
you're a
thank
really
you.
good person, and you're sweet as hell too. And your dogs are cool.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys letting us
We're
in your
good
house.
people. You are
Of
too.
course. You're welcome anytime.
Precise.
Thank you guys. I can't wait for you to come down and watch me flop.
No,
That would be great.
I'm gonna-
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
go
kidding.
down there,
Love
I'm
you
gonna
guys.
bring a bunch of like professional laughers. If we have to. Just
And I'll
gonna
make
be a-
signs.
really
Laugh.
obnoxious